Hi, my name is Claire Skentelnbery and I'm from the European Biotechnology Network. We are a cross-sectoral network in Europe that works in all aspects of life sciences, and our key mission is to help build partnerships between different countries, different sectors, different organisation types. And a key thing we use to do this is partnership around collaborative research opportunities. So our job is to find funding opportunities and build partnerships around those, because nothing focuses the mind quite as much as money and a deadline. And what we find as Europe evolves and we have no money is that research is all about moving through to the end delivery point. So no matter how far back you are in the research chain, in basic research or in applied research, you need to be understanding and working with all those factors that will affect the end delivery of your product or your process or your knowledge. So the key organisations that you need to be working with when you're planning your research, when you're planning your collaborations, include consumers, because they really are the end users of your technologies, small companies who are the delivery vehicles for many technologies, large companies who are the point of access to markets, and of course policymakers as well, because the regulations that affect your technology will affect whether it actually does have an impact on consumers or not. And so when you look at the different groups, even if you don't usually work directly with any of them, you need to factor them into your partnership building. So let's look at consumers. These guys can make or break whether a technology gets accepted into society and changes behaviours, changes purchasing, changes health, the way people look after themselves. You only have to look at the GMO scandal in Europe years ago to see what impact a negative public perception has on your work. So you really need to start getting information out to consumers very early in the process, through press releases, through anything you can do to let them know interesting new technologies coming forward, how they can use those technologies to manage their lives better, to make their children more healthy. You've got to tell them from as early as possible, because if you come out with your end result and they don't like it, you have wasted all of those years of development that you ever did. When you look at small companies, for example, these guys are brilliant at translating research from a university environment into a high-risk, fast development stage. Too early for large company involvement, but you'll find companies and people inside those companies that will risk everything to work incredibly hard to move your technologies on. They're not going to buy your technology or license it from your university. What they're going to do is work in partnership with you. They will already have a really interesting technology platform. That's what a company is based on. But what your research can do is help make that better. And so you need to work with them as partners through collaborative research. They're not difficult to find. You go to partnering conferences. There are many matchmaking programs that you can do, but don't be frightened of them. Their characteristics are that they are fast moving, they make decisions quickly, they're very effective project managers because they don't have a long time or lots of money to deliver a project in. If they fail in a project, it means they'll go bust. They won't just apply for the next load of money. So you need to work with small companies that are just as passionate as you about getting technologies forward. And there are many, many of those in Europe. And then you come to the large companies. These guys really are the gatekeepers to the market in any way. But they're not the evil demons that people may portray them to be. They're just really different. They work in really large, formal structures. Often if you talk to one person at a conference, it's somebody completely different on the other side of the world who's making the decision about how you might join into a partnership with that large company. And they're really difficult to get as formal partners in projects, so I wouldn't kill yourself trying to do that too often. But what they can do much more often is share their knowledge and share their wisdom about how easy it's going to be to get something to the next technology stage, previous experiences that they've had where things have failed, where they know the failure points will be, and the skills that they know that you will need to move your technology on. You as a scientist have nurtured your technology, but it's going to be business people and money people that finally take it to its destination. And big companies are really good at telling you what skills you will need at which stage of the development process, being it a product or a technology. And finally, you have the policymakers. These guys are bringing in stuff that will impact how well your technology or your products reach market, if at all. It's incredibly important to know what legislation will impact the markets you're aiming for or the patient groups you're aiming for, and what's in the pipeline. you have an opportunity to influence how policy is developed in Europe through using your national governments, but also just being aware of what is going on. There's no point starting a particular technology on day 1 if on day 10 a piece of legislation is going to come in that stops it going any further. You should look at organisations such as Bio, which is like the European Trade Association for life sciences. They know all the regulatory stuff that's out there. They help advise on policies under development. They can really tell you how legislation is going to affect the market that you're aiming at and the technologies that you use. So it's incredibly important that you go and look it up. They have a great website, it's really easy to use, and they're very friendly people. So you don't have to know everything there is to know about policy in your area. Ask somebody who does. So if you look at the different groups that can affect your work, small companies, consumers, large companies, policymakers, they all know a lot of stuff that can help deliver your technology a bit further. So even if you don't intend to take your technology directly further yourself, these guys are the guys that you need to talk to enable it to actually carry on beyond you. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.